Anzu YindaYin ki chibipelo lechen simua changmala chamdi teshtele tharing anzu YindaYin chibipelo lechen liu gyada sumjisogu nanglo la ani dungde lo kendi anzu lama tinjiri sangla peyore ani anzu inji la rokpa chikendi gen chimi doma la peye tinjiri sangda gi chimi la teshtele chimi Leso ani tang anzu gi dungo ma chu ngene ani nam gyun dang anzu sera chewa na shingi thandang anzu yake labga gi lama denzu dudu chedan cheshin bare ani di thola ani thiwo yo ai na anzu la du sine ani kaptu anzu thage gyune ani khabang ra de la yore de nyam dang anzu la de o chero nang ani tang anzu gi dung lo ya di ko chu yi risang la test le risang risang la tharing tharing kyora yosa kwale Rigsang tanda kyora kwale
New York.
New York la namshi khande do tanda kyora yosa la
namshi chapodu
ni sao de moje ke khu de rang khu de
no
ale nga tanda moje ke dis kosong sams la so ani Rigsang kyora tanda jidang chenang nga ju tanda Rigsang ki ani dung tema mangolo sa ra kelanyam do ra hinele aya tanda nga ju simo sawa yo ra demo dange sawa yo ra won din ju la kyora ngoje che da Rigsang
Yemela Tenzin Rigsang Nalo Chuchi Yenzinda Napa Yin Nye Chindigasher Wombo
Lesa Rigsang Hansan yapo Rigsang la kyurang tangbo ani YindaYin lady tempa suyude
Temple Sugidu
tempa suyuda Rigsang tangbo kaka khangani gochu ra Rigsang lo ni singen la ani dinzi Rigsang lo ni singen la ta lo sum singen la ra nganzui ta tanda dus tage gyune ani ta lo ni wade tu yora lo sum singen la ani Rigsang la tangbo zinda lady nga tempa suyudu da Rigsang la kaka khanga jang ani Rigsang kyurang yi chigi da ta kyurang dung tindi dine lo tu go ra e ya get Rigsang la on de la kyurang kale hansan gere del tuji chena Rigsang ani Rigsang tang ani tabloe go ju en Rigsang gi ngala ro chi tu sare tabloe
Yes
chi tu sare ra chi tu sare 먼저 tabloe lo nyam to phyge jangi cheta okay Rigsang this tagel tab no gech den do di mara kyurang di
that was one
oh this
yeah
okay adi mara
not that one
di mare la di ma di ro ale ni tam na shimba stos chiu dang nyamo ani ngazu namgyun to thanda dungde thanda tönsa de ngazu shiri pa khang ne du chini ani pitin shore ngazu dine ne chin le na ngazu lo tu den zo la lo ju yore ani chiu dang nya chiu nang ki nya ani nang lo la bu su su do chomo da khan ro ni do la so Rigsang kyorang ngala shurang thangbo dine ma lo ro pa chida tiski chis gyala
님 기식 간도 당체모 추이 시키 담투 진 추이 대낭 냐나촉 여파통 냐테조 통네 코니 가타 쮸파레
배아보 니마지 칼라소 칸로다 초문이 초직 잠라 도레스라 티 나라 냐나 조 요레스라 아니 냐테 통네 코니 카지레 가타 주레스 그런디나 냐 잠인데 통구데리상
통기두
그런 리상 그런 냐민 카리카리 신게 인게 돌라네 디레 인지 돌라네 디 냐 하리카리 신게 그런
salmon
디카르다 디
clownfish goldfish
야 뭐냐 세냐라라 비게더라 냐다면도 통사 코라니 초담나 루디 갑라 오케이 아니 딩이 로에로 거친데겨 냐 가시 테일도 다 가시 리왕 인바레 냐 가시 외침침 제기 여바레 냐 가시 하장 첨보다 냐 가시 춘춘 여바레 라 아니 가릴라서 디 나올라 냐 당기 냐 자미나서 빼 망고도스라 딘당 나올라 아니 냐 춘다 가리카레 돌라서 테도라나 가리레
gray
가시 리완 요레스 라 가시 왜 침침 지겨러서 세냐 둔주냐 세냐 둔주 디스 왜 게이로 아니 냐카시 하장 첨보당 가시 배 진주여라서 리상 켜나 추나 가시 가라 가라임
원보
몸보 디나로라 냐카레가 텔도다 가시 리왕레도 그래서 아니 니오 디네는 마직도다 리상
냐충 카셰 도이 강라 냐소 녜데 여파레 냐 카셰 파 육초육 셰 신예 다튼 냐 카셰 추이 땡 두파 중 셰신예
배아부라 냐카시 도이 강라 녜수견데 데르스도 냐디 데라 녜수견데 도 아니 냐카시 파큐추추진으로 그래서 루제자데 냐카시 파큐추추지도 냐카시 가지도 추이된라야 좀 추강라 좀 처음네 아니 그래서다 냐도도 추나오도 신데모제데도 아쿠니 아니 가지서 칸도다 처음에 치우이 잠도 람프 코니 추이낭도 줄와래 코니기 셔담나 냐 주교 탑시체 딱군이 가져서 한국 부인에 가라줘서
추이
소리 나줘서 군이 가르치는 데 나도여라 냐 주가로라 데라 아니 디젤라 할수 있다
코니키 셔탐랑 라 냐니 조와레 추 추이히 탐투 코니키 사통 시투 사통 데이낭 셔탐테 샤카레
해하고 군이 가져서 군이 담보 실담 디나로 냐니 주선스라 아니 지우람도 군이기 사동직 투도 아데 사동디 인사도 군이 사동직 투 아니 사동디나 낭라 가리샤소 실담 디샤소 실담 디샤 아니 처음에 냐니 송네 대바래 칸드 냐니라 칼라렌도 칭 로부도 충분숨 사동기 담라 용와래 아니 가지서 단다 소모기 아니 냐송네 데데레스라 카질라나 데라 퉁퉁데 레서 아니 칸도니 냐 가져서 칼라랭가 도레스 아니 로보도 퉁퉁 숨사동 기담라 용데 퉁퉁도 로보도라나 certainly 라 헛발라 아니 가지레 단다 퉁퉁 숨 사동 기담라 레레스라 퉁퉁도 가리사이레
fish
냐사이라 온디치니 타쿠니 가레 초모기 냐송네데 냐라타네데도 온디치나니 디젤라인다 리상라
소메 퉁퉁키 냐 사용 삼네 셈텔체 콘토 신 때 게네 욕보 록렙 네 퉁퉁 라 신 때 때네 냐미 사웨 탑셰체
처음에 갈라서 퉁퉁라 아니 처음에 퉁퉁기 냐사용 삼네 심디지레스 타쿠니 심디지도 가르치나나 퉁퉁도 델레서 퉁퉁도 단기 견라이 막 콘조 가르사이레
냐
야사이로아 아니 칸로 가지서 신데케네 겪고래 신데라나 가래 신데라나 가래래
칼라
칼라 신도 된데 담을 키네래 겪고 로레레스라 매 충충신 뭐이게 아니 가래 다 충충도 냐 사용 삼네 아니 콘조기 갈라서 매 충충라 충충된줄라 신데제레스라 칸도 신데제바남 충충기세 충충양겨 사동 담라래 칸로다 초모 시다 주바래 라 충분 군적이 가르치서 가래 신제든 주 사서 단도에 가지고 사동담 레기도 군적 시다 주바래 갈라나 군이 가르치는 시기를 삼거든 가르치네
춘보 인
라 군적 중주 전부든 좋냐 가르치래 냐 사이래 삼나 군적 시다 주도 탄다 칸로다 가래 소문이 시다 주래스라 아니 내내 마직라
간도 둥둥파 독보 독바
쪽바 가래
독바레 퉁퉁 남바마 제바레
par mache pare pak ma
마츠 파마트바레
음.
퉁퉁 남라왕
하양
하양 냐니 녜샤 용
용
바레
오케이 딱 군이 가져서 안에 칸도 충분나 파 쪼나비는 군족이 신앙원이 파 쪼네 충분히 파 튀겨 말했어 충분나 양게 군이 잡나 줄리도 디젤라 가져서 칸도다 소무 냐니 낭도 캐규 탁제 라 군이기 나테니 낭도 캐 충분남 탄동 사동나 데데 라 군이 가져서 딱 군이 빼잔 소무다 칸도니 냐디 콜라 키줘서
낭
양라 키줘서 아니 단대 충주도 사동데라 따따네 데데라스로 아니 칸주타 온데네 마 결혼로
간도탕 제모 니 낭투 레 코니키 숑파 침포 식 키 낭 출룩 초메 냐테니 숑페 낭투룩
빼야고 라 칸주다 소문이 가져서 낭 레제라 군이기 슝바 쳔보지 낭로라 디스텔라 칼라오레 슝바 쳔보지나 출루네 디낭로라 술루소
냐
냐디 루소아 디젤라 카든 칸도다 초미 냐니라 카세나 초제 냐니게 마세바레 칸도다 초모 셈제 총아레 아니 군이 칼라테소 냐도 주 사스웨
노
사마송 라 사마송 라다 리상
사마소
군이 사마소 아니 군이 가져서 셈제 체소라 셈제 또 군이 가르치나 냐돈조 칼라 가르친 사메나 사나 또 군 셈제 지로 그래서 칼라 마사나 아니 군주 저도 레섬 칼리칼리 군주 나사나야나 군주 칼리칼리 총로나 군주 시라 온디 치네 군주 저 아시베 셈제 총레스로 아니 칸도 표라인다 되는
간도탕 제모 냐니키 카세사록 체나 삼 냐니키 타종카 세마 세바레 간도 탕주모나 레심 델체바주
할래 셈제 치아 좀 생기다 셈제 디스 총사 단들 셈제 마좀 칼라나 칸도 조문이 카세 가주디나 콘저 사유민도 아니 마사디 아니 단기 단 셈제 디스 총나 단들 셈제 마좀 칸도다 좀 딱군이 가르치 있다인다 칸도다 총무 냐니 요린 때네데 냐니게 탄도 가야 마세바레 냐 테니기 고결경 마게바레 가지 답에 빼시다 간스나 군이 가주 유림부도 스타데나 냐딘조 칼라사로 치민도 단도 냐니게 단도 가래 가야 마세바 냐 테니 딱 고겨 당기민도 또 시라 군이 가지서
냐니 보숑페 낭 기포 메바레
군이 기부 매바
호모니키 냐테 니 추이 이낭투 레 냐니카 꺄 꺄네 치바레
야 보라 군주 가지서 다 냐니 가르치는 군이 단기 칼라 가르친 사면도 군이 슝바 나로라 기부도 기부민도
기부민두
군이 기부민도 아니 부모님께 갈라서 고라니 지우낭도 아니 가르쳐서 르레스 라 지우낭로 랑자 땅가도레스라 아니 냐니까 아니 결gem네 칭바레 추게는 도신 라 그냥 추게 신기하리상
주
결 신기예 메
게싱기 예
게 신기예 그래서 아니 리상 그냥 이야카라로 이야카 단다 summer 이야카라 추게가 되엠바
주
게가
가게
도야이 메
데메
되메 알레 그래서 아니 리상 당연히 비기 중대디 대가랑 차스라 아니 교랑이 아니 항상 약불로스다 교랑이 맞다디 가서 담보가 강하지한테 로숨승이라 강하지 아니 아주 비니마 딱 봐요 말아 산주지부마도 메디갈 아니 항상 약보라 아니 니말로 담보다만 가지기 자기균의 로디 갑라리 상기 아니 친주 지루 친주 로요라 다 둥로요다 빼야고 아니 미투네 야고인다 러리상 투지체나 아니 그랑 기치미냠도 인지 야고러러 그냥 추동고나동 그래서 기치밀라
Tachina, Gampinsolamo, Rizan Pipe of Los Tachina, any Mikuni Galikashoa, Nijima, Rizan Pege Tacha, Inji Tacha, Pi Tacha, Inji Nana Tacha, any Jumbu Jaroa, any Posa Zipu, Marve. And how much time you're right, Jiboya. Remare. Continue, but Beyak, Tanganza, Rizan Laki Mata. Yeah, Rizan. So we're actually going to switch to English and we're going to read an article from the Time for Kids. So folks who are interested in joining us on this exciting journey, feel free to join us. Rigsang is actually going to read most of the article, which I'm really excited about. Rigsang, can you just remind folks, what grade are you in?
I'm in 5th grade.
5th grade, gotcha. And Rigsang, you told me that you enjoy science, is that right?
Yes.
Wonderful. So what are you all learning in science right now?
For now, we're learning like the ecosystem or food chains, but our before lesson, we were learning about the Big Bang Theory and about space.
Beautiful. So it aligns well with what we're going to read today. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen in a bit, but as Rigsang just mentioned, we're going to be reading about Mars, and this article is called Exploring Mars, which was written on March 19, 2021. And it's written by Jeffrey Kluger, who is a pretty well-known author at the Times magazine. And we're going to go ahead and show you this beautiful picture first. So audience, if you are with us, enjoy this exciting image. Here we go. And Rigsang is actually going to start us off. Rigsang, are you ready?
Yep.
Awesome. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
On February 18, NASA's Perseverance Rover landed on Mars. Its mission to seek evidence past of microbial life. Something may have thrived on the planet billions of years ago.
Awesome. So Rigsang, what was the goal of this activity?
To find life on Mars.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yes, absolutely. Let's see what happens.
An easy landing was not guaranteed. The rover 300 million mile journey to Mars orbit took nearly 7 months, but its descent through the planet's atmosphere took just 7 minutes. The car-sized rover fell at 12,100 miles per hour with air, friction raising the temperature on its heat side shield to 2,370 Fahrenheit.
This is really fast, right? So when you're driving, I'm sure you've actually sat in the car. And when we drive at maybe like 80 miles per hour, it feels super fast, right? So imagine 12,100 miles per hour. That's really fast, right? And then when we're outside, when the temperature is about 90 degrees, we're like sweating, right? But think about this, 2,370 Fahrenheit. That's hot. And then that took a pretty long journey, right? That's like 3 million miles. That's a long journey, right? Far, far away. Okay, continue on.
The friction also acted as a brake. Within minutes, the ship slowed down. The heat shield came off, a parachute opened, and Perseverance drifted to the ground. Cheers went up at the mission control in Pasadena, California. The team is besides itself, said NASA engineer Rob Manning. It is so surreal.
What does this mean? The team is beside itself.
I think it means so it says the team is beside itself. So that probably means, since you're not talking the team besides itself,
you got it right here.
Oh, it is so surreal.
Right? Like they couldn't believe it. They were so surprised because it's not easy to send stuff to Mars, right? So the fact that this was a successful initiative, people were so shocked and surprised, and they felt like it was so surreal, right? Very good. Which means they felt like, oh my God, this is so unrealistic, right? They couldn't believe what was happening in front of their eyes. Okay, looking for clues.
For the next 2 years or so, Perseverance will explore Mars' Jezero crater. The area is 28 miles wide. Some 3.5 billion years ago, it was a lake fed by water that flowed through the channels in the crater's rim. The planet's atmosphere was thick and it was warm too. Those are the conditions that can support life. Later, Mars lost much of its atmosphere and nearly all of its water, turning the planet into the frigid desert that it is today. But if there was ever any life on Mars, traces might remain. Fossils of it might be found in the dried up lake.
Mm.
The rover's main job is to find those fossils, but it would look for larger signs of past life too. Rocky, wavy mounds might be found along the crater edges. If they're similar to the ones on Earth, they could have been made by colonies or groups of microbes. Tools of trade. NASA's ground controllers on Earth will load the rover's software and set up its scientific instruments. The rover's tools include a camera for seeking signs of past microbial life, an X-ray
Microbial life.
microbial life, an X-ray instrument for studying tiny particles, a rock-busting laser, and an instrument that will test whether it's possible to make oxygen out of carbon dioxide. This technology could help future astronauts on Mars produce breathable air and rocket fuel.
What do you think about this project?
I think it's very fascinating because they're going to do something that I don't think a lot of people ever did and that not a lot of people thought could happen.
It's very innovative. Would you want to be part of this initiative?
Yep.
You think so? Yeah, it sounds exciting. That means we have to really understand science, right? Go ahead.
The rover also carries a small helicopter called Ingenuity.
Ingenuity.
Ingenuity. Its job is to make test flights through the planet thin air. If it is effective, bigger versions can be built. These could allow for exploration of hills and mountains during the future missions. This is a big moment in the history of flight. If Ingenuity succeeds, it will be the first aircraft to fly on a planet other than Earth. The Perseverance Rover is the 9th American spacecraft to set down on Mars. The only other nation to get there was the former Soviet Union, now mostly part of Russia. Will Perseverance discover signs or even proof of extraterrestrial life? The possibility is thrilling to imagine.
What do you think? You think they're going to find evidence of life?
I think they will.
Yeah?
As message from space. As if Mars rover landing weren't exciting enough, NASA added a twist, a secret message. The message was hidden in the pattern on the rover's parachute. The pattern translates into binary code, the language of computers. Maxence Abella, a computer science student in France, and his dad Jerome cracked the code and posted the message on Twitter. It reads, "Dare mighty things." What is the motto of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in California?
So what do they mean? Dare mighty things.
I think
this
it
message
means
telling us, huh?
I think this message means like that they make risks and they like when they're going to Mars, they made a risk to see if they can actually land or if they can send the rover on it.
Absolutely, right? So taking risks is a big part of it, right? And if you want to be a future astronaut, you'll have to be courageous enough to take risks, right? Because there's a lot that could go wrong and you could also fail at experiments. So I think it's super important to have the courage to take risks, right? Rigsang, I'm just wondering, are you someone who dreams to be maybe an astronaut or do something that connects to what we just read today? Or is this just an interest that you have?
I would like to be an engineering software, but maybe I could like help the astronauts and the scientists and build a rocket ship with them.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's a great connection, by the way, right? Because remember in the reading, they talked about how they needed support from the computer scientists to write the codes, right? So you could be an instrumental player in this kind of initiative. That's exciting. I'm excited for you. Rigsang, I'm just curious. I know that you like science and I know you're learning about the ecosystem. You told me that you also learned about what we just read in class in your school, which is beautiful. Do you currently have maybe like a dream job that you think about? You said you want to be like a computer scientist who might be, who might pursue something in engineering or computer coding, right? Is there like extra clubs at your school that could like support that kind of learning, or do you have to sort of do this on your own?
It doesn't look like we have any clubs, but for now, for IDS, we're doing a coding class.
Oh, that is wonderful. So yes, it is directly related. So when you take your coding classes, what are some things that you learn in your introduction to coding?
We make like the people move, talk speeches, and make the background rain. And when we put the correct time for lightning to strike and stuff like that.
Wow. And have you been successful with those lessons?
I've been successful. How do I say again?
You have succeeded. Yeah. That's awesome. I would love to see some of your projects, right? Like it takes, because I know coding takes a lot of patience and perseverance. And when you finally get it and you're able to put something together, it's really exciting, right? And very rewarding. So I'm sure it's taking a lot of diligence, meaning hard work on your part, but that's really exciting that you're already learning how to code and doing these exciting things. So small things build up, right? So you start small, and then once you get older, you can do these big, grandiose things. That's so exciting. No wonder why you're interested in science. Is there, so Rigsang, before you go, I know there are some friends who are watching you and who are also probably inspired by you. Do you have any message that you want to share with them? Anything that you want to share with your friends about science, what you want to do, anything, any message?
I don't really have any message, but I do hope that everybody who's watching this is safe and that you could learn coding too.
Yeah, I hope so too. That's a great message. Yes, I hope I can learn coding too. I don't know how to code well. So that's really important, right? And I think, as I mentioned earlier, if you want to do something big, it always starts with something small, right? And then we get there, we build our skills and knowledge, and then we're able to do big things. That's so awesome that you're already starting this early, right? And Rigsang, you said you're only what? How old are you?
11.
11 years old and you're already starting. That's amazing. And then on top of that, you speak all these languages, right? Awesome. Well, Rigsang, thank you so much for joining me today. I really enjoy reading with you. I didn't really read, you read all the you read the article, but it was just nice to chat with you and talk about your interests. So thank you for sharing so willingly. Okay. So yeah, I'm sure we will continue doing this, and I will just say a few words in Tibetan, and then we can end here. Okay, Rigsang?
Okay.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Rigsang. All right, number 2, ane taring on zuki tunde bloya te chuptigi, and then number 2 taring da Rigsang la game zolo mo yampula tunde lowa tujiche, and then anzu rewa la kinzu mitten and anzu la yapki che gi rewa yo gadinche.